ancestors, warriors, guardians, angels, I command thee. For all those that may be out here tonight aiming to do me harm, go to them now and snap their necks like a charm. Usher them, their leaders, and the ones funding their missions to their final death, where they can bring me no more harm. So it is, so it is, so it is. Ori, guardians, warriors, ancestors, angels, I command thee. For all those that are out here aiming to do me harm, reverse their spells, curses, and hexes back to them like a charm. So it is, so it is, and so it is. Ori, guardians, warriors, ancestors, angels, I command thee. For all those that are out here aiming to do me harm, reverse their spells, curses, hexes, and rituals back to them like a charm. So it is, so it is, and so it is. There's that purple orb. Ori, guardians, warriors, ancestors, angels, I command thee to reverse all spells, curses, hexes, and negativity and rituals brought towards me. Return them back to the senders with a message so big and bold. The senders will get back everything they sent to me 100,000-fold. So it is, so it is, and so it is. I don't know if y'all can see that on the camera, but there's a purple orb that's present. Ori, guardians, warriors, ancestors, angels, I command thee. For all those that are out here in the world aiming to curse, hex, or put rituals on me, reverse their spells, curses, hexes, and rituals back to them like a charm. Make sure them and their leaders and the ones funding them can never do me any harm. So it is, so it is, and so it is. Okay, we're going to pour libation. We're going to get right into it. Thanking the great mothers. I'm thanking my deceased in my family and all the great ancient mothers. We're pouring libations in recognition of these great mothers. Nanny, Ashe, Harriet Stanley, Aunt Vi, Ashe, Empress Verdiasi, Washita, El Bey, Ashe, Empress Khalifa, namesake of California, Ashe, Queen Charlotte of Charlotte, North Carolina, namesake, Ashe, Mama Chimbi, also known as Martha the Dominator, Ashe, Queen of Sheba, Ashe, Oya, Ashe, of the Orisha, Mama Wata, Ashe, ancient divine mothers of all creation, Ashe, all ancient rulers of the earth, Ashe, all divine mothers that brought forth the divine seeds, Ashe, divine mother of Mother Nature, Ashe, all great spirit warrior goddesses, known and unknown, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. That's what we like to do, to pay homage to our great mothers and the great universal forces. I'm sharing with you all some things on the ancient ancestral rituals and magic as I have learned on my own, and apparently it has waken up some things within me, because it definitely works. I definitely can call on them whenever I need them, and that's been on a daily basis because of the recent attacks that I have been under. So let's learn a little bit of background on what ancestral magic is. This is just one definition of ancestral magic. So this one in particular is powered by Wikia fandom. Ancestral magic is massively powerful form of witchcraft that draws energy. Witchcraft is just hidden culture. I like to call it our hidden culture that was taken from us. So in place of that word, I will use hidden culture that draws energy upon our dead ancestors, which they are in the spirit realm. They're never dead. Energy just transfers. We can draw upon them by using our ancestors' strength in the way that we want. This magic is limited to, this is just what they're saying, but I know that it's not limited. And I'll share with you all some of the rituals and things like that that I do for protection. And that's mainly the only reason I use it, is for protection, and also to reverse anything that has been brought towards me, and anything, you know, that I feel may be in the way spiritually. Some people may have bad luck. Some people may be getting depressed. Some people may even have car accidents, fatal things happen to them. And these are all manipulations in that average people are doing, which is sorcery. And a lot of governmental factions do this stuff. I had to learn that the hard way, which is why I learned my ancient rituals of protection. All right. And this is just a general definition that I found online, that it actually is something called ancestral magic. So this particular definition is saying that and these is all speculative, because I found it to be you can call on them wherever you are. This particular definition is saying that this magic is limited to a certain area, such as the burial grounds or the tomb where the ancestors died or were buried, which that's not true. This means if user left the area, they would not be within the magic. Ancestral magic is only open for use of the descendants, hence the name, and needs some blood from the descendants. This is not true. To invoke the spirits. However, some, such as Matthew Evans, have found ways to use ancestral magic without being a descendant of those who have died. This magic is dangerous because you are using the energy of hundreds of your ancestors when used. Fires and strong winds were started because of all the energy. If misused, the ancestors can cut off the energy flow, but this may happen fast enough, as each one of them must pull back their power. These definitions mostly are of people that have done this for the wrong reason, and they're using energies that don't belong to them, so it'll backfire on them. Of course, this is a definition probably put out by a Caucasian. Let me find another definition. I just want to familiarize you all with this before I get into sharing with you some of my experiences and how beneficial it has been to protect me and my children. The strongest ancestral magic in Metalwood is located at the burial ground. They're speaking about experiences. So let me go to one more definition just to give you a little background. These are all like mostly lame Caucasian definitions, but the only ones I can find. So I just want to give you a little background that this is something that really exists. Ancestral magic. This particular definition, I'm just reading definitions from where, the internet that I found, just to give you some background. I don't necessarily support or condone each definition, but I'm just letting you all know that this is actually something. It was given to me by the Spirit, so I started doing research. A lot of stuff just comes to me, and then I'll do my research. So these are some of the definitions that I found. Ancestral magic is a form of sorcery similar to spirit magic. This form of sorcery draws on energy from the dead ancestors of the individual in a certain location and can be used however the spirits see fit. Like expression, if this magic isn't controlled, it will consume the person and cause them to harm those around them. So, as you know, anything used for the wrong purpose will be not a good result. So don't ever use any of these powers for harm or for negative energy, because you can pull the wrong negative energy, and just like anything else, there's good and bad in all things. So I'm gonna get into my little video here that and I'm going to start. Yes, our ancestors left us these ancient rituals and teachings and instructions that were taken with and stolen with our spiritual aspects of our culture. So when our ancestors did all things, they incorporated these practices, which the ruling class has stolen from us. That's our five-pointed star that we use for the Moors. That's a Native American. That is an Aboriginal. This is an Aboriginal walking a Caucasian out of his territory. These are ancient ones in America doing their rituals. That's Honey Dip on the track. So our ancestors left for us the ancient teachings and instructions on all of our spiritual cultures and practices, which in the name of religion and Christianity, various groups, as they did their crusades, the Rosicrucianer crusades, the Christian crusades, during those crusades they stole our legacy, our rituals, and our heritage, and split it through different religions. The Jews have part, Islam has part. They split up the 12 nations. Well, the 12, it's actually 13 tribes of Judah. They split us all up into different religions so that they could control us. All organized religions are based upon the deception of who we are and to control us. They kept our hidden culture from us, which is our power source, which we no longer have until we get it back. So they gave us, they forced Christianity upon us under bloodshed, and then gave us, they kept our hidden culture, then gave us parables. They gave us parables, took much of the real knowledge out of the religious books, and that's in the lost books, the original teachings and instructions, and the Torah, giving us knowledge of economy and finances, on how to rule over the land and our dominions. And they kept our hidden culture, which is the study of astrology, astronomy, metaphysics. The Jews, so-called Jews of today, have the power source of the knowledge of our economy. And we have to begin to get it back. We have to begin to get into our ancient rituals and all of our doings. This is our power source. We are the beginnings of culture. This is Queen Lachey Corley, Honey Dip. This is one of her videos, the Great Warrior Spirit, calling upon and showing her respect and homage as I go into my lecture. She was a great young lady spiritually connected. So we pull on her energy. This is one of her videos before she transitioned into the spirit realm. She's no longer in the physical, she's in the spirit realm. Very talented young lady. Brother Rod, he's in the video. Alright, I'm going to get into some of the spiritual aspects of the ancestral magic that I have experienced. But before I get into that, I'm going to talk about some of the things that the ancestors have given me. Let me get this steel here. And in this time that we are in, a lot of the things leading up to me learning ancestral magic, which is mainly just the teachings and instructions of our ancestors and calling upon them in a time of need, or just giving thanks to them, acknowledging them, loving them, showing them respect, is what has gotten me through many days after being under attack from various governmental entities who seek to destroy the matriarchal power sources in the West. And that's what it all boils down to. It goes back to the 17th century when the Rosicrucians and the Christian Crusades came through and burned our books, killed a lot of our ancestors, our women and children, and forced Christianity upon us, burned a lot of our books, but stole the holy books and kept them for themselves so that they could profit off of the ancient wisdom and knowledge that was passed down to the heirs of the land. And that's what it boils down to. Everything since then has been a big secret that has to be kept from the heirs to the land. And we have to really know and understand why a lot of times we are under attack. It's not that we necessarily did anything wrong. This is their agenda. This is what they have been taught. This is their sole purpose, to keep us in line or keep us from uprising and to keep the secret from us. And the secret is the Black Fez, well, the Kingdom of the Fez Kingdom of Fez will rise again in the West through the Asiatic woman. They have our ancient books which contain prophecy, so they know when, where, and who these things will come through. They study our ancient culture, so they study astronomy and astrology, so they know what time each and every one of us came on the planet. They know our birth dates. They know everything about us because they have oracles and master sorcerers that study this stuff. They study us. They know us better than we know ourselves. I know this through waking up my Akashic record. And these things, I've always been naturally intuitive. But now that I have learned how to get in tune in the spirit realm and get in line with the divine intelligence, I'm able to tap into ancient knowledge. So although they have kept many secrets from us, by this being the age, sorry y'all, by this being the age of Aquarius, the veil has been pulled off. There's no more secrets. So the universe, the environment, the cosmos, where if you're in tune and in line, you're able to download and pull this stuff out of the ethers. And they know this. So before we was in the age of Pisces, they were able to pull rank. They was able to pull the wool over our eyes easily. But now, and that was an age is 2,166 years. So now we're in a whole new age. We're in the age of information and technology. So the cosmos, the universe, on all, the most high creator of all things, whatever you choose to call that duality, has mandated that all information be given to us. And the veil has been, as there's no more corporate veil, there's no more veil. They are naked. They can't keep any more secrets. And these are the secrets that the Jesuits, the Vatican, the Rosicrucians, the high up Christians who originally instituted the Crusades to come in and force Christianity upon us, take the land from our ancestors, and steal our knowledge. So that's basically what they did in a nutshell. And they've been in control ever since then. So what we have to do, and most importantly, what we have to do collectively, is tap into our resources spiritually. And in that, we have to call upon our ancestors, and we have to command them to come forward. Now is the time for them to come forward. And the only way they can come forward is if we call upon them. And by us calling upon them, they know it is time. And they're going to go into action immediately. I see it every day. I experience it every day for the last year plus that I've had to deal with these governmental bodies placing me under spiritual attack as well as physical attacks. And so it finally was revealed to me, not only have I created monetary wealth years ago on record indefinitely, but they know who the channel and the vessel will be to assist in bringing these things forth. So there's been many of us Asiatic women, mothers, who have been attacked. And the spirit just showed me why that is because our next golden age of the Moors, of the Aborigine title holders to the land, will come from the West. And that's the name of America, Al-Maruk, Amaruk, America, America, Amurika. And if anyone knows me, that is my given name, Urika. And that was given to me by my father, who was 17 years old. And my mother was 16 when she had me. So they know the kingdom of the Moors is coming back, and she will rise it in the West. They know these things. And as I've been becoming acquainted with my own mission in life, these things have been revealed to me, because I kept saying to myself, like, why are these people so interested in me? And I talked to a sister today. She was telling me the same thing. I was sharing with her some of my experiences. These people are going through great lengths to stop this movement, and it is not going to stop. And see, they've had these books and these prophecies that they've been keeping in secret for years and years and years, centuries, at least 2 centuries. Now that they see the prophecy being fulfilled, they going crazy because they didn't think it would happen in their lifetime. So they came in my house. They put oil all over the walls, desecrated my prayer mantle. They walk around in secret suits. I'm telling you, I've seen them coming out of suits and stuff. They could be walking right amongst us, and we don't even know, because they putting on these cloaking suits to where they're invisible. All of y'all that haven't opened y'all pineal glands yet, you this might not be for you. You know, if you still in denial about what we dealing with here in the United States of America and what this government will do, and to the extent they will go, you might want to change the channel, because this might be too much for you to grasp. But these are the things that they do. I know for a fact this is what they do. And you know, it's a terrible thing, because in my heart of hearts, I know that this is something that they probably did to Prince El Bey. He had claims to the land. They gave him his own country. They had to bow down. But at the same time, they probably was doing secret stuff, like they did to me. Queen Valera Bey, powerful sister. Years ago, she put out a lot of knowledge on a metaphysical level, as also as it equates to law. And something happened to that sister. I don't know what it was, but for some reason she went underground and went into hiding. And I suspect they probably had been doing the same thing to her. And I have a friend in Michigan, sort of like a friend and a mentor. She's older than me. She used to work for the Department of Defense. They ran her slightly crazy. She's considered an oracle as well. So I've been around different levels of knowledge And I know what these people do. They come in your house, they get in your clothes, they try to do stuff to where you won't notice it. But those of us who are very keen, we notice everything. So many people, they have done witchcraft on black magic and made them feel like they were going crazy, losing it. When they came in my house, one of the priestess that I sought help from, she told me that what they were doing, whatever that is, I showed her pictures of it and stuff, and she told me where to look in the corners, look behind the door for any smudges and sure enough, I learned all their tricks of the trade. They leave nasty blood smudges from their rituals, and they leave white powder, blue powder to invoke magic. So if they can't take your picture and put it on their altar and make things happen to you, they'll try to get close to you. So that's what they were doing to me. They came in the house. I truly believe someone was up in my attic walking around because I could hear them. And I had an instance where things would come up missing. I had just did a libation. On the full moon, I had 3 candles. One was purple. I go in the kitchen to do dishes, and I'm looking at both doors. I got a bird's eye view at the front door and the back door. Ain't nobody came in the door. Either it was a spirit that grabbed the purple candle or somebody was walking around my house, and I couldn't see them. Do you understand? Okay. This is what they're doing. When people are having these freak accidents, and they do it a lot in entertainment. They do rituals. Queen Latifah lost her brother. Who else? Michael Jordan's father mysteriously was found on the side of the road. So they do rituals. This is something commonly known, and they've been practicing to try to control an individual if that's what they, feel like they want to do. They try to gain control over you. And the only way to break this stuff is to maintain a regimen of spiritual protection and incorporate your hidden culture from your ancestors with you daily, because that's the time that we're in, Asiatics and Moors. You need to really understand that 50% of it is spiritual. The rest is know-how. You can call on your spirits before you step out and to send them letters, before you step out and try to do anything dealing with demands. You need to clear the way and the path first, because we dealing with centuries, at least 2, of them calling upon deities and spirits and demons to hinder us. This is why one of the reasons we haven't been able to prosper. Now I'm going to get into some of the reasons also that we haven't been able to prosper that the Most High gave me. Like I said, they've been doing these rituals for, centuries, at least two that I'm aware of, maybe even more. But I know the 17th century is when they started the Christian Crusades. So that purple orb that you see is Zedekiel, and also it's a blue one that follows me as well. That's a protection spirit. It's like the archangels. Okay, so right now, the Spirit gave me some things regarding us as melanated people. These entities in the world, they seek to drain our energy through our melanin. That is a primary power source to them. You notice there's a lot going on with trafficking, and people are coming up missing. These are mainly Asiatic people coming up missing because these draconians, vampires, leeches that I call them, most of them are in the elite ruling class. They're sending out crusades to go and get bodies so they can, melanated bodies, so they can get the melanin, the serotonin, all the things that they cannot produce. The pineal gland, all of these pertinent life force essences, they are strictly targeting us. Right now, we need to be praying against and meditating against and asking the ancestors to come forward to protect our children, our indigenous people around the world, because they're using the natives to lure other indigenous people to foreign places to target them and brutally take their organs from their bodies while they're alive. And they have to be alive in order for the organs to still be good. So y'all need to develop you an altar so that we as a collective mind can start stopping these things. Tap into your cosmic energy. We are divinely connected to the cosmos. Don't let anyone fool you. What we think will manifest. What we ask the ancestors will manifest when we ask immediately. It may take, it immediately is done. It may take some time, but when one of us is in line to the divine knowing of all things, that pushes back 1,000,000. So if everybody watching this gets in line, sets up an altar, really the altar is within you. But until you get to that point where you one with God, one with Allah, one with the Elohim, to build this God power up within, you can set up an altar. And you can also use your candles, and you can use certain things to invoke that will help you strengthen this power. But I'm at the point now that I've been doing it so much, I can think it, or I can just say it without setting up an altar, without doing anything. because I have to do it on the fly. I will feel something on my back if I'm out doing daily, living or whatever. I can feel a tension or squeezing on my back. I know somebody's in the vicinity sending spirits or demons after me. I can feel them. My hairs will also raise on my head. So I'll immediately go into my ritual verbally, and I can get them off me and then send the answer, reverse it back and send the ancestors after them. So until you get to that point, like I said, you can do rituals, set up your altar, make sure you have your incense around you, candles, herbs. You need to be taking herbs, cleansing those natural herbs. I have a blend that I make capsules. I'm working on getting that out because it sets up a barrier of protection. It also opens up your pineal gland. It also assists you in cleansing. So your body temple is clean, and it also assists you in, like I said, strengthening your pineal gland, putting a barrier of protection around you that you cannot see when you ingest these herbs on a regular basis. They're cleansing natural herbs that I've been taking for years. So I was led to the holistic aspects of life at an early age. So all these years I was always taking herbs, and come to find out those same herbs are used in ritual and protection rituals. Unbeknownst to me, the Most High had led me to my protection early on, and I didn't even know. So it's something to be said about the divine connection to the source. All things and all answers will be given to you. There is no equation. I'm confident that when I ask, I'll have the answers to all equations. That's how I'm able to win every court battle. That's why I'm able to prevail in whatever falsely they have tried to bring against me. And I just thank the Most High and the ancestors and the Elohim for walking with me and protecting me even when I didn't know. Now I have learned how to use these techniques verbally when I have noticed that I've been under attack. But and I'll share those with you before I depart this lecture. Okay, so some of the things that can be found, some terms that I want you all to go do your research on. The book Nostradamus 1999, the Kingdom of the Fez. Those are books. What you need to learn is how to command your guardian spiritus, ancestors, and deities. We're in a time where we're coming into the prophecies of the lost scrolls of Solomon. The King Solomon. Israelis are our enemy, family, along with the Jews that they have assisted to remain in power. These have been the ruling class that have been imposters of our birthright and estate, holding on to the ancient scrolls and the Torah that was passed down to our ancestors to be given to us, that they kept from us, that they've been lying about, that they've lied to the world about, that they've changed the books, and they have depicted their Caucasian faces over all of our rulers. All of the rulers of the forever, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century have been Moors. Okay. This is a big secret. That's whose land they are on. They are operating falsely, fraudulently at law. Not us. Their law which is now code. See, they know they cannot practice law, and they cannot adjudicate on the land. So they're slick with it. They're smart enough to know that if they ever got caught committing fraud, they would not be left holding the bag. So they changed the laws to codes, and they operate on water. The Pope of the Holy See. All this old mess. It's all fictitious. The judges operate on maritime law, Admiralty law. That's all based on water. It has nothing to do with the law of the land. All right. So all of this that I'm saying is related to the original raping and robbing of our people. And it came through the auspices of religion, law, alleged law, and Admiralty, military forces. All right, so right now is the time in the cosmos is pure chaotic energy. And whenever you have pure chaotic energy, it's going to be a burst of new creation. And that's how the cosmos, the mother aspect of the cosmos was created. Through chaos. Out of the darkness came light. And that's the feminine energy that's bursting forward. So, like I said, they've been doing rituals against us, the Moors, the freehold heirs to the land for centuries. I mean, the earth was given to us. The entire earth was given to the 13 tribes of Judah. Okay, so first we are spiritual beings connected to Allah, the Most High God. And the Most High creator, creatress, duality that we call the Most High creator. Elohim, who created us, which is them. So they now know that everything will come back through the mother, the divine Asiatic mother of the earth wearing the fez. It's up to us to bring back, resurrect the kingdom of the Fez in the west. That's the empire of the Moors. We are the landlords of the earth. Wake up and know this, Moors. Wake up your ancestral spirits so they can house themselves within you, and you will easily be awakened to walk in your upright likeness without fear. There's no reason to have fear. They all know who you are. You give them a notice, you tell them what it's going to be, and then you walk in it. So, for example, here in the state of North Carolina, I have plowed through a lot of red tape over the last decade, probably like the last 12 years. I'm postured to move forward in the image and the likeness of my ancestors. And I do just that. And for all those that are interested, that may be close to our area, we have started our counselor courts. We also have joined forces with other spiritual mothers. So we have an ancient order of divine mothers, which is very powerful. We as Aboriginals must approach everything in a holistic standpoint. That means that most of our endeavors can be, resolved before we begin to send any paperwork, because it's actually an art of war. And you always want to be ahead of the game with your ancestors paving the way first. Before you send anything out into the universe, into the world, you want to ask them to bless it, walk it through, and command this of them. They are ready and willing to do this. I suggest you make an altar to start developing a relationship first with them, and begin to, that's just like developing a good friendship. You don't just come straight to them and start asking for stuff. But, your deceased mothers, fathers, grandmothers, kinfolk that knew you and walked with you, start bringing them forward, kicking it with them, putting their pictures up, asking them to help you get through these doors. They are in the spirit realm, and they will do that. They'll make our lives a lot easier. So I suggest we start raising our vibrations, and with those herbs, that's another thing that they do for you. They raise your vibration so that you can experience a lot more on the spirit realm. You're able to, like I said, experience more clairvoyancy, get in tune more so in the spirit once you incorporate the natural herbs into your regimen. Cook with your ancient spices. This makes you a walking shield of protection. So not only calling upon your ancestors and doing the rituals, you'll automatically have a barrier of protection around you at all times, keeping you from danger seen and unseen. We have to protect ourselves from these vampires, leeches, and draconians, because they are literally doing rituals to pull your melanin from you. We see many cases of Asiatics having blotches in their skin. They call this vitiligo. This is very real. They put rituals out into the spirit realm, Asiatics, so-called black people, to extract your melanin from you. And you see it's happening. So we have to do our part in doing the protection rituals. Everything that is going on in the world is designed to extract your natural essence, because you are the closest thing to God, the Most High Creator and Creatresses. You are walking manifestation of Allah, all law. Nothing you can do is unlawful, because you are walking manifestation of all law. We know this how? Because you are natural law. You are divinely connected to natural law. You are divinely connected to the land and Mother Nature. So therefore, all things flowing have to flow through you. They are in violation of natural law. not us. The law that they represent is a fraud, fictional character that they have instituted. So the law that Prophet Noble Drew Ali told us to follow is divine law, spiritual law. Don't break the law, Moors. So when they tell you that, ask them to show you the law. And ask them to distinguish if this is code, if this is policy and procedure and code, or is it law. They cannot practice law. They in violation. They're committing treason every day in these courtrooms. Only individuals that can practice law is the lawful heirs to the land. Forget about what you heard. So there has been nations of people who do rituals to cipher our life force. And that's what they do in these secret societies. Everything is all about us, Moors. This candle look like it's a person inside of it. So the big secret that has been that judges and attorneys and all these secret societies, the 1%, has took allegiance to keep is you. The Moors own the land. That's the biggest secret that they took an oath to keep, and they do rituals to attempt to prevent us from the inevitable rising that shall happen, because it's just time and it's been written. As I stated, we're in the age of Aquarius, and there is no information that will be hidden or kept from us. It's going to all come out during this age that we're in. You have to do your homework, Moors, your spiritual homework. Like I said, I can guide you on many things that I have gone through, and I'm not initiated into anything. I have learned these things naturally and have seen them work. I was just given the term ancestral magic. Just popped in my head, and then I went and looked it up. So it's not like it's something that I studied or anything. Most times that's the way I get my answers. So like I said, I've seen the ancestors, warriors, and guardians move in my favor. These people have sent all different type of nationalities to come wherever I'm at to try to do their spirit work on me. And I've seen once I do my chants and call upon the ancestors, and I ask the ancestors if anyone is here to do me harm, go to them immediately. Go to them now and snap their necks like a charm. I can sit there and do that maybe 3 to 9 times, do it in threes. And the next thing I know, somebody is skirting away in the car or walking away wobbling. So they have shown me on so many occasions. Now I just play with it. If I think somebody is near me doing something, I'll just start whispering and talking to the ancestors. And the next thing I know, they'll be looking at me crazy, getting the hell on, because they're doing something. These ancestors, they don't play. The reason why I said that in one of my posts that Christianity and Islam has been taught to suppress the woman, that is because that's how they wanted to control the masses, and that's how they had planned in their elaborate scheme during at least the 17th century, when they developed all these secret societies and groups, the Jesuits and so on and so forth. They had gotten a hold of the secret scrolls, and which our history is that the matriarch, before they came in with all these different factions of religions, which were centered around the male aspect of control, they know what our history has been and what is written in our instructions, ancient teachings and instructions, is that the matriarch is at the head, and certain things have to come through the mother. And when they took over and destroyed our history and our culture, they changed everything to the male aspect and gave us the phallic worship in Christianity and Islam and everything. Every other faction of religion is the same thing. It was instituted to turn everything around. So everything that we have been taught is actually the opposite. They turned it around over here, and everywhere that they colonized, the Inquisitionists colonized, they turned it around to the phallic worship system, which includes the male being in control and the matriarch being subordinate. And just go look up the term phallic worship. They erected everything to look like a penis, even the hats they wear. All of those things are symbolic of our penis worship. And this is a ritual that is being done on the followers every day to further ingrain in you, those that follow the Islamic faith, the current day Islamic faith, and the Christian faith, and also Jehovah Witness, any other one that you can think of in the last 2 centuries that has erected and has been for 2 reasons: to change the course of history so that they can remain in control, steal our birthright, and take our power source away from us, which is the matriarchal form of life that our ancestors created naturally, and that's how we stayed in power. But when they changed it, that's why everything in the world today is topsy-turvy, is upside down. Nothing is what it's supposed to be, because mankind put their hands in it and messed up all of our stuff. Now we got to get it back. We have to first get spiritually in line, get everything on one accord and in line on the spirit realm, like our ancestors would have us to do, as they did, and everything else will fall into place, into natural law. And that's what Mother Nature demands. If you notice, the age of Aquarius, Mother Nature, the Most High, is going to prevail no matter what these people think they're going to do with us and to us. But that has been the focal point of all religions, is to separate the original tribes of the heirs, what quote unquote 13 tribes of Judah. And their biggest fear is that we will come back together. So they did a great work to keep us separated. They went over to Africa, colonized over there, gave them pictures, and taught them that we in America, the brown people in America, were savages. They went around the world with this false knowledge and information so that they could stay in control. And you still have people around the world, even in Africa, practicing Christianity. It's ridiculous. This is the biggest atrocity, Holocaust, form of genocide ever known to man. If y'all really get into the research on what they did to us, these people, their karmic record is going to pay them back in this age that we're in. It's going to pay them back dearly. But it's up to us to get things back on track for our children, for our ancestors. We are a world-class people. Our ancestors ruled the earth, ruled dominions wherever they treaded their feet upon. They claimed their dominion, and nobody opposed them, because it was written, and it's still written in every ancient scroll there is. That's why you had Moors, Emperor of Morocco, come here. This is considered Morocco of the West, America, Al-Maruk. Arica. There's been several variations that ended up, they always end up changing the name to something similar so that they can be a part of it. But America is not the original name, of course. But this is Morocco of the West. This is a part of the ancient Carthaginian Empire, which is up. So you had Moors from Morocco that could come here and claim it. Moors of the 16th century in Europe were here and claimed the land. King Charles. Some of the ancient laws that I stand upon are laws of North Carolina, 1739, which in that text states that the heirs of them, this was King Charles at the time, a Moor. From my research so far, I believe it's King Charles, but this was a Moor who had claimed the dominions over here and instituted laws of North Carolina during 1739, and which state that's why they got rid of all these laws. They suppressed it, just like they suppressed the abstract of title. Because they don't want you coming in with no abstract of title. That takes the cake. They done changed everything around, turned the map coordinates around so we can find our land. They've been doing this since late 1800s, because 1786, probably late 1700s. 1786, around the 1800s, the Emperor Muhammad still had powers over here, and they speak about him in the text. But before he was claiming dominion over here, like I said, there was King Charles of Europe that was over here. Queen Charlotte was from what do they call it? I got it in my writings. But she was from Germany, a small duchy town in Germany. You know, they endowed her father endowed her land over here. So wherever they went, they made claims to wherever they went, and their titles followed them. Don't get this stuff twisted, by the pictures, because they changed all the pictures during that era. And that's why in the proclamation of the Aborigine Moors, I made sure I put a Restoration Act in there for them to put our faces back where they belong, and they will be charged. So all of these laws and charter and declarations that the Most High placed upon and through me is already written what needs to be done. We just gotta administrate. They gonna put our faces back where they belong with the original Asiatic faces. Make sure that our descendants know all of the architectural, engineering, and great works that our ancestors did. They never give contribution in none of these books that, our children and us went to school for. They just, flat out lied about everything. So that's what inspired me. The Most High and the Spirits inspired me to put that in that proclamation declaration that worldwide, they shall put our faces back where they belong, or they will be charged under the charter, under the fee schedule. So it's just a matter of time that all of that will be instituted, whether I see it in my lifetime or not. It's there. It's filed at the Library of Congress. It's a roadmap, a blueprint, and that a mission shall be carried out. And that's what I was divinely inspired to do. So I'm doing my part for us to be well on our way back to our imperial status as emperors and empresses, and, as the Aborigine freehold title holders of the lands. However you word it, we are never departed from the land. We're always the Aborigine of the lands with ecclesiastical birthrights to the land. So we have so many different aspects of law that we can rely upon that they cannot deny us. The ancient maps of the first original Asiatic Moors who claimed the land. Archaeological finds. It's written in the law. It's written in the Bible. So you got ecclesiastical. First of all, you got spirit. Your spirit man is connected to the divine, and they know this. We the only ones that have carbon. We the only one that have 9 ether hair that stands up as antennas to speak to the earth, to speak to the ethers. Your pure natural essence speak to who you are. There's no more proof that needs to be given. Let them prove their DNA that they supposed to be here. You can look at us and tell we supposed to be here. That's where I'm at with that. God is simple. It ain't nothing hard about it. Just look at the law and what my ancestors said, and I'm an heir to them. And I said, the law is this, because I have the power to do that. They said I can take, hold, possess, bequeath, and alien the land as I see fit, as an heir of them. Okay, so Moors, what you waiting on? Ain't nothing left for you to do but roll out, administrate your estate. They know they acting in fraud. They know they imposters. Every seat of power in the world today knows they're imposters. The Queen of England admitted herself. She's only there in which she's no longer there. So you see prophecy manifesting every day. The Queen of England is not even on her throne anymore. But she said that she's only there. She's going to be there until the sons of God return. So there it is. So these religions were instituted, especially the Israelites and the Islamic faith, solely for the purpose to suppress the Asiatic woman, because they know our true history, her story. They have our lost books that they stole with our ancient teachings and instructions and kept it hidden from us. And then they gave us the Islamic religions and oppress us through and control us and control people through these religions, because they know that we are the most faithful people on planet Earth. And if they give us that religion, they will stick to it. It's a form of control, all of it. All organized religions, I don't care who started it, what it came from. It is a form of control, to control the masses. So I roll out with the cosmic forces, the astral plane, and as they say, it's levels to this. And it absolutely is. We have only experienced one-dimensional level when you're dealing with religion and you're dealing with one book. And all great scholars never stopped at one school of thought. And, that's something to be said about that. That's because they derived a little bit over here from this one, a little bit over there, and a little bit over there, because all of our knowledge is chopped up into these different faiths and separated us on purpose. The same thing they do in high corporations. They give in departments. That's why they break them up. They don't want nobody having the whole piece to the puzzle. You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. But don't nobody know the whole picture, the whole puzzle, the whole blueprint. All of this is by design. That's why these Jews and these higher ups that run corporations, they always have an Asiatic woman at the door, because that's our power source. That's our power structure. It always has been. They know this, but they took it away from us and gave us their phallic worship of the penis and the male energy, and continue these rituals on us every day, looking at these obelisks, and it's nothing but a giant penis that they want us to worship in the name of Islam, in the name of Christianity, and whatever other religion that they broke us up and separated us in. So do your research on that. Like I said, the early 17th century, the Rosicrucians killed, beat, and raped, stole our history, our legacy that was in our books, manuscripts, and original teachings and instructions. I remember right before I left Detroit, Bishop Wayne T. Jackson, I was up under his tutelage. A rabbi came and gave Bishop a $60,000 Torah. And he said he was there to repent. He was there to repent because they had kept this aspect of our spirituality away from us. And he was there to learn from us our praise and worship side of our spirituality. So here he is giving Bishop $60,000 Torah, which contained the original script, some of the original scroll in it, with our instructions on how to maintain finances that the Jews have been, so-called Jews have been keeping secret for centuries, and how they were able to stay in control. They had all the blueprint and instructions that was given to us, but yet they kept it away from us. And they know they're doing this. They know that they have committed sin against the people. Like I said, it's the greatest atrocity, form of genocide, and Holocaust that the world has ever seen, but they never talk about it. So now it's time for us to talk about it, know about it, get over it, and start to rule in our dominions as it was written, and as our ancestors left the instructions for us to do. So those are some things. If you got a pen, you may want to look up if you don't know about it, or if you need to, follow up on it. That's the phallic worship, PHALLIC worship. Then you got the Rosicrucianers, if you never heard of them. ROSICRUSIANER, Crusades. They have painted pretty pictures since I've been talking about this, and put a bunch of fluff and buff up on Google regarding them. But this is a very grimacing fraternal order. So look up the Christian Crusades, Rosicrucianers, and all of these lynchmen that did the dirty work of the secret societies that wish to control things in the name of religion. These crusaders, they came in the early 17th century in the name of Christianity. They forced it upon the inhabitants, the Aborigine inhabitants of whatever region they were in. In turn, they stole our ancient scrolls left by our ancestors to be passed down to us. And for at least the last 300 years have kept the secret of the ancient Moors owning the earth, and having this being given to us by the Most High God. They have kept our teachings and instructions, our Torah, and even further, different names, but they're the original teachings and instructions on how to rule the earth that we were bestowed, the land of Mu. They took our instructions on how to navigate the waters, rule over our chosen dominions, how to create wealth, and how to deal with the finances and commerce. Basically, the whole blueprint on how to rule over and govern and enforce our laws upon our dominions. These teachings came in the form of books, manuscripts, pictures, original teachings and instructions through scrolls, and they paid homage and great respect and adoration to the Asiatic woman. Christianity was born on bloodshed, tyranny, and barbarism against the Most High God's chosen ones. There has been no greater atrocity, genocide, or Holocaust known to man than that committed against the Asiatic man and woman. And especially the Asiatic woman through organized religion. And at law, who is God? At law, at so-called law, United States codes, codified, God is the governmental ordinance department. So when you go in court and you swear to God, That's who you're swearing to, because they know they're not dealing with law. So it's all a game that they have, and we know earlier I showed you in the law that the term that they use to use different words interchangeably, they have so many different variations of one word that they can move in and out of. They call it an elastic word, and that's one of them. They know that they cannot rule over our dominions, which is the land. They are on water, and their God is the Governmental Ordinance Department. We, the people, the essence of the Most High, walking in the image and the likeness of the Most High, brings life. The woman is the water bearer. There is nothing outside of you greater than what is on the inside of you. See, we've been taught that to look outside of ourselves for everything. Everything from natural healing to the spirit of the Most High God is within you, the Christ within. So we as a people, my candle went out. We as a people have been severely brainwashed to believe that all answers and our salvation is outside of ourselves. This was a very sophisticated technique because the ruling class, the secret societies that instituted this elaborate scam and scheme against the masses of people, the ruling class, through organized religion, they got us to look away from ourselves. Our original teachings and instructions did not do that. So they gave us a religious book that is full of parables. If your heart is right and your intentions are right, you can always derive good out of anything. So I'm not saying that the King James is bad, but I'm letting you know the real deal of how it went down. Your divine Asiatic mind is a divine connection to all the answers. There's nothing outside of your own body. The divine melanated DNA structure. You are, quote unquote, the Most High God on earth. The Most High Gods in the astral plane, the Elohim, what you call heaven in Christianity, is who we are made in the image and the likeness of, and the Elohim, plural, made us. So people of different faiths, they don't want to really look at these terms for what they really are, or ask the questions like they need to, so they can free themselves. The Rosicrucian Crusades and the Christian Crusades came to turn a once dominant people on their heads by taking away their source of power and survival, their hidden culture, their spirituality and connection to the cosmos. They kept this knowledge for themselves, then in return gave us organized religion, Christianity, Islamic faith, washed down books and knowledge with no real power in them. This is why we as Asiatics have never truly prospered as a whole, as we once did in our glory days. Yet, you see the so-called Jews and other nationalities prospering for generations. Why is that? Ask yourselves. These secret societies have stole our ancient knowledge. They practice rituals against us using our ancestral knowledge. They have the scrolls with specific instructions on how to remain prosperous on the land, how to dominate in commerce, the navigation, and the astronomy of the stars. That's why they know who we are better than we know who we are. And they know what time we're in. That's why you saw a rash of just random killings by these fraternal orders. They need to be taken off of our land. We do not want no private corporations governing us that don't have our best interests at heart. We have to rule our own dominions. There's no way policy enforcers should be on our land using, they already there unlawfully for private interests. They don't have an ounce of law in them. They don't practice law. They don't even teach them law. The only thing they're there to do is do rituals and carry out the orders of the fraternal orders, the high ups in these fraternal orders. That's why you've seen all these just random killings of our black men, so quote unquote Asiatics, quote unquote black men. And the term black, just so you know, is categorized as 3/5 of a man in law. So as long as you using black and check marking black, it makes no difference. Black power to the people. They consider you 3/5 of a man. So keep on using it. That's how that's how you agreed to that. And that's one of them adhesive contracts that they use against you to control you, to come in your house, get your kids, take your car with no explanation, and kill our brothers on the street with no explanation and no recourse. That's how they getting away with it. Go look that up. 3/5 of a man law. Black on black crime. They let it happen. You see Biggie and Tupac never was solved. At law, black on black crime is a wash. They don't even consider that a part of their policy. See what I'm saying? Because they still operating off of Jim Crow and black codes, which say that if you using a term that we have given you, black, African American, you are 3/5 of a man. So your life does not equate to one of ours. So black on black crime, they don't even investigate that most of the time. It's just a wash. You need to claim your nationality. You need to tell your family to claim their nationality. You need to at least have your ownership of your chattel paper. Pull it out of commerce. Put a lien on it. Put it under UCC. Do whatever methods you can to let them know you're not a minor, or they will be putting you under their black codes and Jim Crow laws that should be banned. That's in one of the proclamations that I filed at the Library of Congress, that we do not adhere to any inhumane laws that are still on the books regarding quote unquote black people who are in essence Aboriginal Moors. So I did the best I can to protect us. because a lot of the masses don't really know what's going on. That's how they able to get away with this stuff, because they using these codes. They still using Jim Crow laws. It's another one in the South. It'll come to me. It's the slavery code or something like that. And Bush also had he went to the UN to pass the Salvage Act and all this stuff. All of these things are being done under our nose, and we don't even know what it means. So, like I said, y'all gotta wake up. You gotta learn what these titles and policies and procedures means as they apply to you at law. They're looking at you like you're not even human. 3/5 of a man. That's written in their law. They're practicing all of these different rituals. The fraternal orders are being passed down to the police, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. We, as the landlords of the land, the heirs to the land, can stop all of this. Start doing your rituals of protection, calling out our ancestors. If one of us is in line, that can push back 1,000,000. Get to work, get your homework done. We can see a great change, so these babies can come and rule over the dominions as they should. Okay. This is another reason why, as Asiatics, we've never prospered as a whole. As, like I said, all of these things are being done against us, and we don't even know. So, the secret societies, the so-called Jews, and the 1% ruling powers have really done a number on us. I suggest y'all go out first thing and begin your protection rituals. Call upon your ancestors, your deceased relatives first, the ones who knew you, to come aid and protect us during this time, and to protect you and your family. Do your research. Once you become confident, if you need guidance, you can reach out to me. I can guide you on how to invoke and command your spirit guides and ancestors. What is known as magic or ancestral magic. Once you get in tune and comfortable with the spirits that walk with you, they're spirits that guide you and walk with you anyway, but you haven't tapped into them, you haven't acknowledged them, so they haven't revealed themselves to you. You have to command them out of the ethers, and once you begin to develop this relationship with them, you'll see them moving on your command. You may not see them with the physical eye, but you can see them working for you. So, and I've been doing this. I'm still fairly new at it, but I'm very powerful in it because I probably did this in my previous life, my Akashic records, and it's probably down in my family line that I'm just natural. It just came naturally to me. So for over the past year now, I have been able to communicate with my ancestors and my spirit guides on a daily basis for protection. And I've seen them work on my behalf. I know how to invoke them and call them, and they will work for me. Yep, I have seen miracles and what some people may call magic. My ancestors do not play. And I've seen them perform ancestral magic on my behalf. Moors, we are leading edge creators. It's time for us to walk in our matriarchal culture, as our ancestors wrote in our lost scrolls and also in most of our ancient cultures that were based on the Divine Mother. These factions of religions that we were once under, or that were created to separate the population of indigenous, aboriginal Asiatics, they separated us and placed indoctrinated religions in place of our natural divine laws that we were accustomed to, which further kept us separated from our holistic methods, cultures, and teachings and instructions that were directly passed down to the heirs, which are the chosen ones, which is us, the ones who were to rule the earth. Like I said, the Crusaders benefited from our ancient teachings and instructions on how to rule the world and dominate the earth. And that's the purpose of the secret societies. That is the big secret. The big secret is you, Moors, keeping the knowledge of who is God's original people and who is actually given dominion over the earth. That's you. You were given the earth as your playground by the Almighty Elohim who created you. You are from the land of Mu, M-U, Moors, M-U-U-R-S. And you are currently in the land of the West, of the Moroccan Empire, Al-Maruk, A-L, capital M-U-U-R-I-K-A. Different variations, A-M-U-R-I-K-A, which is now known and spelt differently as America. This is your land in the West. That's what America means, land in the West. We are west of the Moroccan Empire. We are west of Morocco. Never be fooled again. Never bicker amongst each other again because of religion. The main thing they're killing each other over in the Middle East is fake religion. It's crazy. This is what they wanted to happen. This is what they knew would happen when they separated us and gave us different religions. At the end of the day, you are a spirit being having a human experience. Know thyself, know thy spirit, get in line with the divine, all-knowing. Because the man that stands by watching two brothers fight to the death is waiting for them to eliminate each other so he can run off with their land. That's a little saying that I found that someone had posted that I borrowed from them. But that is the truth. That's what they've been doing, watching us kill each other. They kill us so they can continue to run off with our stuff and create the distraction. So meanwhile, they have us in fight or flight mode all the time, that we can't even think straight. Only thing we thinking about is putting food in our mouths and taking care of these babies. So they can distract you from your purpose, distract you from your divine mind. That means your direct connection to the Almighty knowing. You don't need anyone to tell you every little thing. We were not designed to be sheep. We were designed to be creators, leading edge creators, co-creating on this earth, because it was given to us. So the aim of these crusaders that came along in the 17th century was to replace our matriarchal culture with a patriarchal religion centered around the worship of the penis, phallic symbol. These entities practiced subliminal mind control against the masses of people, indoctrinated the masses with the worship of the penis to gain control over them, giving them the male figure and the male dominance symbols, because they know the power of the feminine energy. We are natural creators in chaos. We are divinely connected Asiatic women to the cosmos. That's what the Black Fez is all about. They went crazy when I put on that Black Fez. These governmental entities came in my house, put white powder all over my fez, desecrated my prayer mantle. This is serious business. I was like, they real serious about the Empress. Let me figure out what's really going on. And I vowed that I would not be in fear. I'm going to prevail at all things. But they have ran many of our people crazy, ran them into the grave, doing all this stuff. But it starts in the spirit realm. You stop it at the spirit realm in the cosmos, cut all soul ties, attach all negative soul ties that are ungodly in the spirit realm. Go to the brother Ninti El Bey, what's brother's name? Timothy Ninti El Bey. He has some powerful prayers that he gave me, along with what I was already doing. You have to break that stuff in the spirit realm. These soul ties that they attach to you, they put you on their altar, your picture on their altar, and they praying and meditating against us every day. We at war. Spiritual warfare. That's where it all starts. So, we have things we need to be asking for in the spirit realm. The knowledge of our lost books that are filled with prophecy for us, of our Asiatic rising again, the Moors regaining their powers and dominance to rule the earth that they once ruled and that was given to us divinely by the Most High ancestors, the Most High Elohim. So get in line, Moors. Get your divine mind in line to the all-knowing with the cosmos, ancestors, and they will show you the prophecy. And they will show you your role in executing that prophecy. You can no longer feel suppressed, subservient, or disillusioned. Your ancestors are waiting for you to call on them out of the ethers. The biggest secret on planet Earth is you. We were given the earth. Divine instructions were left for us, which they stole. We are the gods and goddesses here on earth, and that's just a descriptive term. Don't be fooled. Asiatic Moors, the big secret is all about you. We give orders to Congress. We are the law of the land. We are natural lawmakers. If you look at the laws of the 1700s, 1600s, and also the treaties of peace and friendship, and all the other treaties where we gave orders, and there is no government, especially here in the United States of America, that could give orders or make laws without the indigenous people, without the Aboriginal Moors. Where did that practice go? Now we are back out of interregnum to rule as our ancestors ruled. So there you have it. It's filed at the Library of Congress. Everybody in Congress, Senate, President, all the way down has been informed. We got word from the UN that all we need to do is operate. So that's what I do. I give orders to Congress, who make the laws and that cannot make them without us. I do not acquiesce. I put my status on the record, and I move in imperial status, and I study what my ancestors did so I can know how to rule my dominions based upon the word that has been set forth all the way back to ancient times. So these laws were written to keep them in line, our subjects in line. We have crown immunity, or you can call it tribal immunity. Whatever you call it is under the doctrine of immunity that they cannot surpass, which is most likely why they instituted the codes, because they know that they do not have authority to rule under the laws that our ancestors left, because they applied to them. Now that just came to me. That's obviously what it is, because they don't operate in law at the federal level either. It's all policies, procedures, and codes, codified United States codes. They don't operate in law at all. So, that being said, this is the first Ancestral Magic lecture that I've done, so I'm going to be doing more, because I feel that it's the main component to us gaining back our control and getting in line with the divine mind and tuning in to, we have to learn how to be tuned in, tapped in to the divine knowing, all knowing. There is nothing that we cannot find out. The veil is very thin right now. The answers are right there. So, collectively, we need to do this. Moving forward, I will be sharing with you some of the things that I have on my altar, on my mind, that I'm meditating on, so that we can all be in unison and connect with the same divine mind, and we can move mountains. Like I said, if one of us is in divine alignment, we can push back 1,000,000. And I've been seeing it. So walk in your manifestation, Moors of the divine law. How could you not be lawful? And if everything you do is in pursuit of natural law, you are the law, and you write the orders. Use your spiritual rituals of protection, some of which I shared with you. The next video, I will get into more in-depth aspects of the rituals. But for this first video, introductory video, I just wanted to give you the basics and the foundations of all of these things that have been coming to me. And it's all based on our inheritance, and which is all You know, it's first based on the spirit, the land, our inheritance, and law. That's all we are. We can be nothing else. So at the end of the day, all of my lectures end up talking about law because we are all law, and rightfully so. So we'll do some more videos on the ancestral magic, and I'll share with you all some of the things that I've seen and I've been able to make happen. Some of the miraculous things you already see if you've been following me. A lot of people ask me how was I able to even get this far, and they're very surprised at the things that I do and the information I put out, and I'm still walking around, standing, blah blah blah, which is nothing for me because I've always done this. But you got to learn how to protect yourselves first in the spirit realm. All these race wars and guns they talking about, don't put your mind on that. You are most powerful in the spirit realm, and you can stop anything light years away from happening to you with your own divine mind. Trust me. So peace and love. If y'all have any questions, feel free to reach out. And like I said, I'm going to be putting together some ancient herbs, cleansers that will open up your pineal gland and that will create a protection barrier. It serves a multi-purpose thing for our protection. And they also cleanse the body temple so that you can be more receptive to the things of the spirit. And they have assisted me over the years greatly. So I'll be sharing a lot of those things with you all, and a lot more videos on ancestral magic. All right, peace and love. Asiatics, claim your nationality. As long as you check in that box for black or African American, you're considered 3/5 of a man. So they do not have to recognize you as a human, not even a human. Okay, we're Asiatics, indigenous to the land, but they don't recognize you. So you might want to stop calling yourself black and African American and the other titles. What else? Like I said, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. I'm here as much as I can. I've been doing a lot of consultations lately, but you can hit me on Facebook Messenger and check out my YouTube channel that I have, Imperial Lectures. Hopefully, I know what I have been invoked to impart is going to be beneficial. Peace and love. See y'all next time.
Marches new